Hey guys, how's it going? Coming back at you again today um, for another edition of Pipes and Books. And today, just gonna talk a little bit about what I've been reading. What a book I finished this week that is a great one. I'll suggest that you guys read that one. I'll show you that in just a minute. Um, but first things first, housekeeping. Um, Today I am probably not a huge surprise to anyone. Again, smoking my Chris Harriet Billiard. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, you probably will remember that this is, in fact, my vapor pipe, Virginia Perique, and today I am smoking some Sutliff 1849 blend. Yeah, I did a pretty bad job taping that label on there, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. A delightful mixture of rich Virginias and spicy Perique tobaccos. Sounded good, so I ordered a tin, and haven't got around to having any of it yet. So I see that Sutliff tins are on sale this week, so I figured I'd give it a try finally and see what I think about it and if it's worth ordering anymore. It's a pretty standard vapor. I like it. Is there anything unique about it that I would want this as opposed to any other? Not really. I am not a what would you call it? Don't have a super well developed taste quite yet for all these, so I can't pick out all the small nuances and all that kind of stuff yet. Do I like it though? Yeah, it's pretty good. Um, I don't know if any of you guys follow Chris Harriet's channel on YouTube, but his latest video, he was showing off the two pipes that he's making for me. I just got an email today that they're ready to go, so I'm excited for them. If you're getting tired of seeing this pipe, because it seems to be my preferred favorite pipe at this point, I'll change it up soon. So I have a squat Rhodesian coming, modeled after a shop pipe that he had made for himself that I really liked and wanted a version of that, so that's on its way. And then I also ordered, he had a rusticated apple, and I asked him to put a matching stem that's is it an olive Cumberland stem? It's more like a yellow, it seems. But I asked him to put a matching stem on that fledgling pipe. So those two will be heading out in the mail, I think, early next week. So I'm really excited to get those. Now on to the other thing. This week has been crazy. The last several weeks have been crazy. I've put in overtime at my main job the last couple weeks. Plus my second job. So I'm exhausted. But I finished the Karl Ove Knausgaard book that I was reading before. So that book got finished early in the week, I believe it was. I picked up the second one to start reading, and it's very similar to the first, but I just needed something that was. There's a lot of different little stories in it that are kind of loosely related to each other, but I needed a little break from that. I wanted something that sort of like got a longer story thread to it. Just being busy at work and all that, I just needed something that was a little more happening in the book, I guess. So I did switch instead of picking up that second one right now. And then, of course, the third one I just picked up as well. And I'll get to them. It's very windy out here today. So I guess real quick, the first book I'll highlight is a book I did pick up afterwards. And I did finish it this week as well. Very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. The book is called Starter Villain by John Scalzi. Oh, there you go. And if the cover looks kind of ridiculous, it's because the entire book is kind of ridiculous in a very funny kind of fashion. Just real quick, I'll read the back of the book to you because, quite frankly, it's really hard to explain exactly what happens in the book, short of this, without giving things away. So, Charlie's life is going nowhere fast. A divorced substitute teacher living with his cat in a house his siblings want to sell, and he wants to open a pub downtown, if only the bank will approve his loan. Then his long-lost uncle Jake dies and leaves a supervillain business, complete with island volcano lair, to Charlie. But becoming a supervillain isn't all giant laser death rays and lava pits. Jake has enemies, and now they're coming after Charlie. His uncle might have been a stand-up, old-fashioned kind of villain, but these are the real thing. Rich, soulless predators backed by multinational corporations and venture capital. It's up to Charlie to win the war his uncle started against a league of supervillains. But with unionized dolphins, hyper-intelligent talking spy cats, and a terrifying henchperson at his side, going bad is starting to look pretty good. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Or in a dog-eat-dog world, be a cat. If that sounds ridiculous, it's because it kind of is. But this book is fantastic. It's not very long. Let's see. So there's a little short story at the end. 262 pages. It's not bad. I actually did the audio while I was at work. So very well narrated as well. So definitely, if you're kind of interested in weird, funny, enjoyable stories, I highly suggest Starter Villain. It's a good one. If not for anything else, get it for the cover. All right, so that book I finished, started and finished. So real quick, on to what am I reading now? I got a couple things going, and they are kind of all over the place. Real quick, before I jump into these books that I'm reading now, just want to give a quick shout out to a channel that I started watching, and something he said sparked kind of my last video about the faithful and their irreverent. But I've been watching his channel. He's a booktube channel, reading books and journaling. And the channel name is his name, Johnny Keene. See if I can leave a link to his channel in the description box thing down here. But he's a major reader. He just seems like he reads pretty much all over the spectrum, but a focus on religious books. So that is kind of, I've been binge watching a lot of his videos, and that's inspired my reading a little bit lately. But just as a kind of a refresher, Thomas Jefferson, revolutionary. I haven't had much of a chance to read this lately. Still a good book, still interesting. I did read another little chunk of it this morning. Really good stuff. Good to know background information. Talking a little bit about it. It's starting to get into the discrepancies between Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton, and that whole thing, and the disputes of what the goal of the federal government should be, what federal rights should be, and what state rights should be, and such. And just one sentence jumped out at me. It's a quote from Thomas Jefferson. I just wanted to read this real quick because this really piqued my attention, and I marked it off and highlighted it and wrote it down on a sticky note for easy reference. But he said, "What country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance?" Again, just keeping in mind the importance of that we the people have, or should have, in this government, because that seems to not exist very much anymore. And the things that this country was founded on, it seems like we've not only neglected, but we've gone backwards, and we're right back where, actually, I would dare say even further back from where this country started, or why this country was started, breaking away from England. Taxes without representation, and all that kind of stuff. So that's a good one. Really good to keep in mind why this country was founded. And the other two books, Way of the Ascetics. It's kind of hard to explain, so I'll just read the back of it. The rich, compact introduction to the Eastern Christian spiritual tradition provides insight, reflections on self-control and inner peace. Yeah. It's a small one. It's a small little book. Often these small little religious books have some of the most important takeaways in them. So that's one thing I'm reading. Got lots of stuff marked off in here. So I'm just taking a little chapter at a time. Chapter I'm on now is on humility and watchfulness. Humility is one of those things that I think we could all use a bit more of. It's always struck a chord for me. In such a self-centered world that we currently live in today, a little humility goes a long way. Actually, that's why. That's what my knuckles say. Yes, that did hurt quite a bit. And that had to get done twice because the ink doesn't sit very well there. So, yeah. Final book that I'm reading through as well. I actually went to the bookstore last week to get another one of this author's books, and they didn't have it in stock, even though it had come out the day before. I've since ordered that book off Amazon. I do like to support bookstores. I do like just going into like Barnes & Noble and looking around. I have a membership card from Barnes and Noble, and I think the date on that is, I think I opened that account like 2013 or something like that. And since they're kind of the main brick and mortar bookstore at this point, they've got a pretty good reward system as well. So I do like to go there and support them. But anyways, long story short, the other book I picked up is called Mind Shift by Erwin McManus. Oh, there we go. It's another small little volume. And right down here, author of Broken Arrow. Sorry, Last Arrow. It's a small volume like this one, but it's a powerful book. It's actually a book, one of the few books that I have on my list to reread every year. There's a lot of great takeaways and points in it, and so if you're not familiar, Erwin McManus is a head pastor at Mosaic Church. I listen to his sermons every now and then, but he's got his hands in a lot of things. He's in the art world. Designer, fashion, entrepreneurial. And this book is about changing the way that people think. He works with a lot of other entrepreneurs, helping them, and that's what this book is kind of about. It's about shifting your mindset towards being more successful, changing from the victim mentality, essentially. Let's see. There's a lot of good takeaways so far. I'm not very far in the book. See if I can find. Let's see, I think here it is. All right. So I'll just read you this one little section right here. So he's talking about, so I'll just start. Growing older by itself is not a great accomplishment. Mostly it means I've avoided death so far. And that, by the way, is no small feat. I've been close to death many times, facing down both gunmen ready to shoot, stage 4 cancer that already metastasized, but that's not the point of the book. However, I've learned that unfortunately most of us not only avoid near-death experiences, we avoid near-life experiences as well. We almost risk for love. We almost pursue our dreams. We almost overcome our fears. We almost live the life we long for. We almost make that decision that would have changed everything, and then we get to the end of our lives and realize that we were so close. We were always just one choice away. Life is unpredictable and beautiful journey filled with both adventure and danger. That is, of course, if you choose life rather than existence. Life doesn't just happen. If your life is happening by accident, you're only existing. If you are living beneath your potential, you are only existing. If you've surrendered your uniqueness for acceptance, you are only existing. If you are living for pleasure and profit rather than love and purpose, you are only existing. The more determined that you are to maximize your life, the more challenges you will face. And that's a harsh couple paragraphs to read, because it's real. I feel like most people just kind of are living for the day to day, not thinking about the future too much, not doing what's necessary to see the success that we want. And again, this goes back to that sort of discrepancy. I think a lot of us suffer from is, I think a lot of us understand that life is not just all about success and making money and such. But I do see it as and I know there's more important things to it, but so long as we are placed on this planet, and I think it's our charge to make the world a better place. And I know that's a overly used phrase, but choosing to have a family, choosing to bring a child into this world are things that I wouldn't trade for anything. That's why I work so much, and it's not because I'm obsessed with trying to make money. Money isn't evil. It's the love of money that is evil. That being said, money is also a tool. And it can be a useful tool so long as you don't forget the purpose behind it. So, in another way, this knife here, it locked. In the UK, this would be considered a weapon. I consider it a tool. When I need to cut something, that's what this is really good for. That's what it's made for, is to cut. So, money is a tool, not only one, to enrich our lives, but having money will also free up your time and your resources to be able to do those things that are more important to make things better, to be able to donate, to help people, or whatever cause that you choose. And I think that's something that gets lost on a lot of people. So maybe in the future I'll do another video on that. This one's running a little bit on the longer side already, so yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. Sometime this week I'll choose another audiobook to start. I don't know what that's going to be yet. I just like having audiobooks going all the time. When I'm at work, I'll listen to an audiobook. If I'm driving around by myself, listen to an audiobook. I've got my playlist of jams that my son loves, so when he's in the car with me, we always listen to those songs. But yeah, it's always good to keep reading, whether you're physically reading the book, doing an audio book. I like to do fiction audiobooks because they don't require as much attention. I don't find often that I need to highlight something in the book or write down a quote. Sometimes I do, but not like I do for a nonfiction or a religious book. So those ones I tend to actually read the physical and have the book with me so I can do things of that sort. But yeah, that all being said, maybe I'll record another video shortly about the whole money thing. But yeah, thanks guys for your time today, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.